Hey guys, it's Helen Hart-Smith here again with
Cathy.
Now listen, no judgment. I know it's been a minute since we recorded a podcast.
We're 5.
And we're sorry about that, but life happens. So here we are to record podcast number 411.
Right.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
I never thought this would happen. Mostly because we've literally been like scheduling days.
Oh my God.
To
For
film.
3 months. For 3 months we've been scheduling days to film.
Yes. And something happens
every time.
And we've gotta cancel.
Every time.
Whether it be sick, whether it be, going away, whether it be, things happening, emergencies come up. So guys, we've missed you.
Absolutely. We've missed each other.
We haven't really seen each other much. I mean, don't get us wrong. We still talk almost every day.
Every day on the way to work. Every single day.
Yeah, so that's but it's just not the same.
It's not the same.
So anyhow, we're here to record the 2018 end of year podcast.
Yes. Kind of sad that it's only number 11, but again, life happened this year.
Yeah, things happened. So
this is the year wrap up, and in previous years we have done things like pagan news or things that have happened in the pagan world, but we've had enough shit happen in our lives this year that it's going to be a personal wrap up.
Yeah, we've
It's been a difficult year for us both, and we might get choked up, and that's okay. We'll just keep going. So before we get into everything, we're going to start with...
We've got some business to take care of.
We got business, yeah.
It's time for the correspondence of the week. So, Cathy.
Helen's.
The last podcast of 2018... We need to have a super duper special correspondence. What is it?
This week's correspondence serves 2 roles. It corresponds with change, of which there has been a lot this year. And it also absorbs negativity, which we really needed. So this week's correspondence is obsidian.
Yes. Obsidian it's really a go-to stone for me. And...
yeah.
I've had obsidian around me or other black stones like Apache Tear and Jet and even Smoky Quartz. They're really all black tourmaline, hematite. Yeah. They're all really great stones for, clearing away negativity and those energies that aren't for our highest good.
Right.
And they're all, I usually have at least one of them on me. I'm wearing a Smoky Quartz today. But I really got to know obsidian during my final year doing the temple work. I was working on my master spell and used obsidian for a month of spell work. And one thing that I have kind of paired obsidian with for correspondence work is it will supercharge your magic.
Okay.
And holy cow, yeah, there was some serious supercharging that happened for sure when I used it.
I mostly use it for protection. But if you happen to have an obsidian blade, you can use it to cut unwanted links between people, which is really interesting because I did a meditation to cut cords, and I had an image of a goddess cutting the cords with an obsidian blade.
Yes.
And that goddess is, and I'm going to totally slaughter this, it's Papalotl, who is an Aztec goddess.
Mm-hmm.
She could be Mayan, I'm not sure. So, of course, its Papalotl is associated with obsidian, as is several other gods and goddesses, and I cannot pronounce most of these, so I'm just going to say Pele and Sekhmet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Sorry.
we've got a little bit of a shakeup here. I did not plug in my laptop. I knew that it was getting low on battery. So Cathy is like helping me out with that. So excuse us for a moment. You know, this dog and pony show don't run itself.
Got it. All right, so that's plugged in. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So obsidian can also be used for healing related to the digestive system and the muscular system and relieve pain. It can also be helpful in getting rid of bacterial infections.
Yes. So yeah, obsidian is a great stone, and I love the feel of it. I love I just get a very good feeling when I carry it.
The resonance
Yeah,
of the stone.
it's just, it's really amazing.
Yes,
So
it is. So that was our
correspondence of the week.
Been a while since we did that, and I'm glad we still got the touch.
Yes, indeed. So, so let's kind of dive in to talking about 2018 and
the hell ride it's been.
what it did for us. You know,
us.
Yeah, with us, despite us,
Right.
all this kind of stuff. You know, one thing that I've been clinging to this year as I've literally rode this roller coaster. I did a tarot card reading for the year, and I had heard of people doing that before,
Right.
And had kind of played around with it a little bit, but not much. But I actually did a full-blown reading for myself, because you know me, I don't really do readings for myself.
Right.
I will do them for other people. I might pull a card a day or something like that, but I really don't do a full reading for myself.
Right.
I did that for the first time last year, and perseverance was the word that came at me from that reading.
Right. And you needed it this year.
And yeah, I didn't get it. I was
What
like,
it
well,
meant at
what,
first.
you know, what could possibly, you know, happen? But then by May,
Right.
I totally got it.
Right.
So I feel like I can't stress enough. So I will be doing a reading,
Right.
and I believe I've talked about it in a video where I was kind of talking about, you know, doing readings and I've really enjoyed doing master spell work towards a purpose for the year. And so perseverance was what I worked through this year. And I'm still working on it, because my year, I don't do a calendar year. I actually start in Aries, because that's a good time to begin things. And so so I've got a few months of perseverance work to do yet.
Right.
But I feel like I've actually gotten just that knowledge that perseverance was going to be a thing. I think that it really served as kind of like an anchor for me.
Right.
To know that this was, I don't like to say predestined.
Like you had a warning that there was something coming that you would have to persevere through.
Right. And so it also has served as a reminder that it's okay to take the process.
Right. Because you can't just get over things that happen instantly. You have to grieve, you have to mourn, you have to work through things. You can't go to the gym once and expect to be able to bench press 200 pounds. You have to work your way up to it.
Right. You can't just go run a marathon.
Right.
You have to train.
Yeah. You can't walk a mile and expect to be able to run a marathon.
Exactly.
You have to work your way up to and through things.
Right.
And this year has been a really good example of that.
Right. So that kind of like leads us into, we've got some talking points for ourselves, because who knows how this conversation's going to go. It could be a bawling fest. You're forewarned, people. Sorry.
Right.
So how do you feel like your practice, your magic, your path has changed in 2018?
I've had a lot of changes in general this year. So I started the year one with the Temple of Witchcraft, which has has gotten me to meditate more, to journal more, to do more exploration with my guides, to do more magic work to help enhance my magic. We bought a cabin in February, so I set up a altar up there and did the protection dog fence there. So that's a lot more practice. And of course, I reset the one here. Excuse me. So that's helped me get a lot deeper into my magical practice. But then a little over a month ago, my mom passed away, and it was quite unexpected and very traumatic for me in the way that it happened, and also traumatic for Helen because she was the second person I called. Of course, my husband was up north. So I lost my dad a few years ago. I know we did a podcast about that, and his passing was not unexpected. It was actually almost expected.
Right.
Mom's, while she was not in the best of health, we didn't expect it to come like that.
Like that.
Yeah, because it was like, I don't know, an hour from when she asked for help till it was over. So it was quite unexpected, and so I'm dealing with her death a lot differently than I dealt with my dad's. But I was also able to go, oh, hey, the Temple of Witchcraft has a few things to help people who are grieving. So I turned to, oh gosh, I can't remember her name now.
Reverend Elisa.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
That's part of the
Scorpio Ministry. Yeah, and there's a page on the temple website where you can contact somebody if you need assistance in grieving. They have a shrine suggestion. They have the prayer shawls that you can ask for if you feel that you need it, or if you feel like you could make some for somebody. That's there. So I had, and of course my mom and dad were not the first people in my life that I lost, but I did have some background in trying to deal with it. But because mom's death was so sudden, there were things that I felt I could do. Helen, you remember that right after we got the news that the workers were, had pronounced her.
The paramedics.
Right. I took the time to thank the goddess and God for giving her to me, and for allowing me to have the time with her that I did have.
Right.
And I felt like that was very important for me to say those words. Even though Mom, of course, couldn't hear it anymore, it was important to me to acknowledge to the universe that I had her, and that I was happy to have had her for as long as I did. Now it's your turn.
So yeah, losing anyone that's close to you, it's traumatic. Especially if it happens in so quickly, like it did with both of our moms.
Right.
I don't know if you realize this or not, but your mom's passing was like it was like 6 months since my mom's. And
because they were mothers from another mother. They seriously were
really
so similar.
They were so similar. They weren't necessarily similar in age, but they were definitely similar beings.
Temperament and
right.
anxieties.
Right.
And, yeah, they were very, very similar beings.
And so I don't know that I think we've talked about this, but I don't remember. It knocked me for a loop, your mom's passing.
Well, I mean, I called you when they were still working on her, trying to revive her. And that, I know that was very difficult for you.
Right. And I know I was very grateful that you were like aware of that and said, I'm sorry, this is not what I want to do to you, but I need you. And there was absolutely no hesitation. And I would never hesitate, because that's what we do.
It is what we do.
That is what we do. That is what our entire coven does. we rally the troops, and
we did it for both of us. When Helen had a wake for her mom, we all made food and brought it up to the fire hall and
Right.
put that on. And when my mom died, the coven brought the food to the apartment complex that mom lived when we had the wake after the funeral. And it's what we do. It's what we
Right.
do for each other.
It's what we do because we're family.
Yes.
I think isn't there, okay, let's try to lighten this. Isn't there like a Hawaiian word that they talk about in Lilo and Stitch?
Ohana?
That's, Ohana is family,
Yeah.
or something like that. So we're
Yeah.
family. So that's what we do. But it's, I've been having a little bit harder time kind of bouncing back, and I can't explain why. So I've been having some difficulties. So I feel like for me, 2018 started off on such a high.
Right.
2018 was like so good. Here I was not understanding, what do I have to persevere, you know?
Right.
I
Life is
finished
good.
I finished my final year with the temple. We went to convocation. I had the opportunity of going out to New Hampshire for my graduation and meeting people that I'd only known online, and starting these like really cool bonds that we continue to be miles apart, but I feel like I actually have a link to some of these people now. So I started off on such a high, and not understanding, well, what could I possibly persevere through? And then my mom died.
Right.
And I was, took some time to deal with that.
And it was unexpected as well, although not quite as fast as what happened with my mom.
Yeah. Worst night of my life kind of thing.
Right.
And, but anyhow, I'm figuring out like where to pick up the pieces, and,
yeah, because you have this hole.
yeah.
The hole never goes away. And you have to work around it. You have to find a way to plant flowers in this crater and change your mindset from mourning the person being gone to how do I celebrate this person being in my life and raising me, and to try to focus on the good memories. And to that end, we're planning a I don't want to call it a dead parent society, but it's kind of that way. We had another friend whose mom passed this year, relatively recently, and I don't even know how I got the idea, but there was an idea out there that you come together and you talk about the person who passed, and that will help you to bring your mind
because
around.
because you start the process.
Right.
You process things. And so we do. We are, let's face it, we are of an age
Right.
where our parents are, their life cycles are coming to an end.
Right. Well, and anybody can pass at any time. I had a brother pass when I was 11, another pass, I don't know how old I was when first died.
Right.
But, it was 15, 20 years
Right.
ago.
Yeah.
It can happen at any time.
Right.
Of course, when we're getting up in age a little bit, it's understandable. We're expecting our parents to pass.
Correct.
But that doesn't make it any easier.
Right, exactly. Especially when things happen quickly.
Right.
So we're hoping that, I think that you and I are just at a point on our path where we hit struggles in our life, and we do what we can to deal with it, either ourselves or within our circle. And then we look at, okay, if I'm feeling and experiencing this, what are other people doing?
And what can we do to
And
help
what
other
can we do
people?
to help other people?
Right.
So I'm looking forward. I don't think either of us have an expectation as to what we expect this parent loss circle
Right.
to entail.
Sounds way better than Dead Parent Society.
Yeah, right. So, I don't know that we'll, need to have like a monthly meeting or, anything like that. But, maybe just talking.
I think giving everybody an opportunity to talk about their parent or parents that they lost.
Right.
To reminisce. Because it's so, when you get around other people, it's, when you're around somebody whose parent or somebody who's close to them has died, you kind of don't want to talk about it because you don't want to trigger them.
Right.
And this is a way to be able to talk about it without worrying about, well, how is this other person going to feel when I start talking about my dead mom, my dead dad.
Right.
It's now not going up. And this is, we'll be in an environment with other people who have gone through the same thing.
Right. And they're people that are, close to us.
Right.
It's not necessarily an open to the public type thing. Right. And I think that this is probably the right way to do something like that.
I asked my sister to come. I don't know if she will.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, loss is it's a hard thing to deal with, but I think that having a forum where you can feel safe to talk.
Right.
I think that that's probably the kindest thing that you can do for yourself.
Yes.
Is to allow yourself that vulnerability to speak about what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, what you have questions about, and then listen to others who need the same things that you do.
Right. And not worry about somebody else's expectation about where you are in the grieving process, and being able to support somebody else who may not be in the same point in the grieving process as you are.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that can be helpful too, because I feel like, they talk about the 7 layers of guilt or the 7
stages of grieving.
Right. I'm definitely not doing anything in order, and I'm bouncing back and forth, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, basically. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, because I can have great weeks where I feel pretty normal, but then I can have weeks where
I'm not to normal weeks yet. It's only been a month.
Yeah,
I'm not to normal weeks yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was okay when we went on vacation, but then as soon as
you were distracted.
I was distracted by the sun and the sand and the turtle that was the Cayman Islands.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what that's something that we're looking forward to in 2019 based on that. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about like how you've changed, how your practice has changed?
No, I think we covered it.
Okay. So we wanted to talk about our students.
Let's talk smack about them.
Because they'll never listen to this.
So I don't know how much we've talked about it before, but we have 3 first-year students. And then we have, I don't know how
4,
many.
5. We're still counting 5.
Okay, we have 5 second-year students. Now our second-year students are a bunch of our Crevin sisters. So I'm not sure they count, but
count for what?
I don't know.
As a second-year student,
it's not strangers. It's
people
we know.
Right.
So I mean, we can look like idiots, and that's okay because they're our sisters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But our first-year students are not necessarily people that we were close to, just like our first-year students last year.
Right. They're actually the first-year students for us. We won't throw out their names or anything like that, but they're all ladies that. 2 of them came from the meetup.
The one who is okay.
And then the other one is one of our family members.
Yes.
Extended member.
Surprise the hell out of me.
Right. Yeah. So we know of them a little bit.
Right.
But to have them in a classroom setting, I don't know if we can call what we do classroom, but it's a class. It's proven to be very different from last year's
Yes.
first year students.
Yes.
It's been more difficult, which I was not anticipating.
Well, I think the different personalities is different dynamic.
Well, but we've had difficulties too with just kind of problems.
Well, yeah, a couple of our students are a little bit more empathic than our previous first years, and so there were some grounding issues.
Right, there was some grounding issues. There's definitely a almost cross the spectrum lack of interest in meditation, which kills me because I for all intents and purposes, I was brought up on meditation, and I've had my own struggles with meditation, but I see how important it is, and I have worked to do better. And that's not necessarily been...
Well, I think that they're better at it now than they were when we started. That was Nella again. And it just takes time. It's hard when you're first starting out to get into meditation and do it correctly.
Right.
Although one of our coven members at our Realert Away did a class on meditation that I think helped our coven members.
Right. Those year two.
And we've been able to use that in leading the first years, and I think that's been helpful.
Right. Yeah. So it's I feel like it's interesting for us. I think that sometimes people giggle at the amount of stuff that we do together. And I feel that we have changed, like the two of us, our practice or our approach or whatever has changed a lot. And so, it's a struggle for us to kind of deal with our different approaches to things.
Yeah, but I think that that's a plus for us too.
Yes.
Because not everybody learns the same. And so
Right.
having two different approaches on teaching, I think, is beneficial.
Right. So I'm hoping that it's a good thing for students to see
Right.
that. Yeah.
So our second year students are our coven members, and that's been a struggle mostly because of life. Everybody's been really busy this year, and one of our other coven members is also doing the first year with the temple, so she's kind of got double duty on things. It's not always easy to try to pull things together, especially since we have so many students.
Right.
But I think we're managing pretty well.
Yeah. I get overwhelmed a little bit, but I knew that this year was going to be trying. I knew that this year was going to be trying because of my schedule.
Right.
Because I'm teaching the 2 years, TAing for the temple, plus trying to maintain my own YouTube channel and stuff like
Right.
that. So I get a little overwhelmed sometimes. So I don't know how that's going to play into my schedule next year.
Right.
So interesting stuff there. So yeah, good students. And do you remember when we started those?
I can look it up.
Yeah, I don't remember. But so I don't know. We haven't talked about what next year.
No, and I think we need to
will
get closer to the end of this year before we discuss it.
Yeah.
And we want to do some reviewing with our current students to see what worked and what didn't work, and to get some feedback on that before we really
think about
decision.
things.
Right.
Yeah. So then the meetup.
Wait, I'm almost there.
Oh, you're almost there.
Yeah, we started in May.
Oh, we started in it.
Yeah.
So the meetup.
The meetup. So we've had pretty consistent attendance. It's been between 10 and 15 people, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. It's been,
Right.
We've had a lot of new people we didn't know, which I
Right.
was kind of surprised about.
And excited to see.
Yes.
I I think I'm fairly certain we've talked about this before. If you are a solitaire in your area and you're looking for community and you can't find anything, then start one.
Right. Absolutely.
There has to be a place that you can find that will either cost you no money or will cost you very little money.
Right.
And get the word out there.
Yeah, and the trick is, depending on what area that you live in and how deep in the Bible Belt you are, finding someplace to advertise, finding people who are interested. I mean, when we first started, we had 4 or 5 people, and then it just kept building and building.
Right.
Now we're
right.
2 or 3 years in.
Right.
And we have people who are teaching that we had no idea existed when we first started.
Yeah, and that's a really exciting thing for me, is that we have lots of people that have been interested and have taught in this year, and so it hasn't been just you and I. Because I want to say the first year that we started the meetup, it was basically just an all social setting.
For 6-8 months, and then we
started talking about doing, some classes, presentations, things like that. And so it's great to see that there are others that have come forward, and things like that. And there are folks that are already kind of talking about what to do in 2019.
And it's also interesting that we get these new people come in, and almost every one of them says, I didn't know there were that many pagans in this area.
Right.
Because they're all from this area. None of them, I mean, we call it the Shiawassee County Meetup, but if you want to drive to where we are, you're welcome to come.
Exactly. Right.
And we've had people from Lansing come in, and Langsburg, and the guy who taught last month was from Lapeer.
Yeah, that area. So that's been exciting. I feel like I feel like the meetup has gone very well and has developed, and hopefully that will continue to do so.
Hopefully.
So
in fact, I was really interested. We usually skip December, and now everybody's whining because we skipped December.
Yeah,
it's like, can we just meet up anyway? Can we meet for drinks or whatever?
Right.
I found
I
very
saw that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
we might want to rethink that next year.
Yeah. So like I said, if you are looking for community and can't find anything, then start something.
Yes.
And you can start with posting something or talking about something at your local New Age store, and go from there.
There's psychic fairs that travel the country, and not just pagans are interested in going to psychics and getting the pretty jewelry. So go there and talk to somebody.
Right. There's connections to be made, but you've got to step outside. Yeah. You got to step outside your door.
You got to put yourself out there.
So definitely. So if anybody ever has any questions on stuff like that, feel free to ask us. Right. We're pretty open about what we did and how we did it and stuff like that.
Did we do a podcast on that?
I'm fairly certain we did. If we did, I'll look and do a link to, I'm fairly certain.
It seems like we did.
Yeah. So I'll put a link to any meetup type stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to touch base a little bit on the YouTube channel and the blog in 2018. We've talked about the difficulties that we've both kind of had with 2018. And I know that I've had some, I haven't posted on the blog in a long time. And so I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with the blog. I want to use the blog because I want to write and I want to, be able to use that forum for things like that. But I just need to kind of think about how I want to do things. But the YouTube channel, I feel like the YouTube channel is doing very well. So,
how many followers?
Over 2,000.
Go you.
Yeah. So,
and we have the Facebook page, huh?
Yes, there's a Facebook page, which there will be, for some reason I'm not connected. So, I was gonna verify numbers, but that's okay. Yeah, I've started a Facebook page this year, so that's gotten some fun, interaction and things like that. So hi to all of you out there who have checked out the Facebook page and kind of connected there. Since I have a moment, there's definitely been some folks in social media that have been amazing. And I'm probably going to miss somebody, but I feel like there's at least one person that I really, really want to mention, and that is Lisa. I always say it's Lisa from Canada.
Lisa from Canada. Yes.
Lisa from Canada. I just received a beautiful holiday card from her last week. She does the most amazing cards. And Lisa, if you're, oh gosh, no, I don't want that. Lisa, if you're out there and listening, if I think you've got a business or something, I'm looking for some information that I can share with people to kind of drive them your way, because your stuff is beautiful. And if you're selling things, then I want to push people your way. So give me some of that information. But Lisa, every so often I will get something in the mail from her, and it is literally a breath of fresh air. And it has definitely been very welcome in times when I've been having a hard time. So thank you for that. Special shout out. Much love to Lisa from Canada. So look forward to more stuff in 2018, at least on the YouTube channel, while I figure out what's going to happen with the blog.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So, not to put you on the spot, but are you ever going to do anything on a YouTube channel?
I don't know. I keep thinking about it, and I keep not having a motivation to do so. I need a good premise, a good idea. I don't know.
All right.
And this year was just insane, especially November.
Right.
It was horrible. So.
Right.
And of course we're busy with the cabin and stuff and the students. It's just hard to find time to do stuff like that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, dudes, if y'all want Cathy to do something on YouTube, give her some suggestions.
I do have a video up there of one of two of my grandkids singing, and I think one of Randy's buggy going over a hill.
So are you wanting people to kind of...
No, because those are the only two videos I have. And I think that my granddaughter would be so totally embarrassed, because the two that are the same age, close to the same age, were singing Christmas Carol, and then one of them got really embarrassed and stalked off. So, and now that she's almost 16, I think that she probably, if she remembered it was out there, she'd ask me to take it down.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So
I'm gonna pull it out when she graduates and play it.
You're funny. So there's definitely some other. I'm drawing an utter blank right now, guys, and I knew that would happen, but I know that like Stacy, Wendy, Frank, those are some viewers that post a lot of comments, and there's a lot of you.
So what you need to do is do your top 10 viewers.
My top 10 viewers. But what if they don't have content? What if they're just
what's that got to do with it? It's the people who comment on your blog, on your YouTube channel.
All right, we can
do a shout out on that.
Yeah, we can look at that. Yeah, cool. All right, so let's talk about one of our favorite subjects. Books. So, are there any books that you read in 2018 that you really, really loved, or books that you want to read in 2019?
Okay, wait, are we limiting this to pagan books, or can we do a shout out to the Wheel of Time and the Laurel Hamilton, Anita Blake series?
You mean the thing that you already just did?
Yeah, that
one. Go ahead. Excuse me.
I went a couple of years, and by a couple of years I mean probably 5 or 10, only reading fan fiction, and this year I got back into actually reading, published fiction. And so I've been listening to the Wheel of Time series for over a year now, and I'm still not done with it, although I am on the last book. So exciting. They're going to make a TV series.
And how did you come across this?
It was because some girl named Helen sucked me into it like she does everything else.
Such a good series of books.
It's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan, high fantasy. Check it out.
Much better than Game of Thrones because it's not misogynistic.
Yep. I'm pretty sure we've talked about that lots before.
Maybe.
So
Well, I know we've talked about it together, but haven't talked about it on the blog.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying
as
to
far as like pagan books, we did finish The Witch's Craft by Gurmasi.
Spirit of the Witch.
Spirit of the Witch, thank you. Mm-hmm. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting, and I did a review on it.
We started the Akashic Records by Jackie Smith. That's been good, although we've missed a couple of study sessions because life has happened.
Right, and that's okay because the goal for us as a coven is to complete a book a year.
Right.
And we've done that.
Right.
So that's okay. And actually, I think when did we technically finish Coventry Magic? That was at the end because I did a review in September. So we did. We read Coventry Magic last year.
We finished one last year. Yep. We finished one this year.
Yeah, so we're doing good. So that's cool. Is there any pagan books out there that are?
I picked up the Aradia book that what's his name has been pushing. What's his name?
Matt Oren.
That's the guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed he's written a few articles on that, and I picked it up, and it's really good. I haven't finished all of it. I did read a few. It's a collection of essays by various pagan people, and it's been very interesting. I've been enjoying it. I still want to read the I can't pronounce his last name.
Cahulin.
Thank you. The Guide to Paganism and Witchcraft for Law Enforcement.
Okay.
Is that it? That's not what it's called.
Yeah, something
but it's
along
something
those
along
lines.
those lines. I finally was able to find it and buy it. I just haven't gotten through it yet.
Cool. I think that I have an idea of where I'm going next year with the magical work that I want to do. So bearing that in mind, there have been a couple of books. Well, there's been probably 3, maybe 4 books that I've been thumbing through, but haven't done a hardcore read through of. But they're all on the same subject matter, and that is death. Mm-hmm. And so I think that 2019 there's going to be a focus or a push for me to do that.
Yeah, and I think that this year might have been difficult for you to go that lines because it might have been too fresh.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, and like I said, I've thumbed through some different things. Like I've been in the middle of reading Summerland by I think it's Elaine McCoy.
Yeah, that's what I was
for a couple of years. The Starhawk and M. Maka Nightmare. The Pagan Book of Living and Dying. The Mighty Dead. And I know there's a Dion Fortune book on death, I think, that I own. And so I think I'm really going to do a focus on reading that from cover to cover instead of reading a little bit here, a little bit there, doing a hardcore reading of that. But there's also another couple of books. Well, there's not a couple. I keep picking up and not buying Sigil Witchery by Laura Tempest Zarkoff. And I'm hoping to get that for Yule this year.
Because you're doing a book exchange with the Roman.
Yes. So I'm hoping to get, and if I don't, then I'm going to purchase it. Right. Sigil, I've had a couple of questions from people recently about sigil work, and I do sigil work mostly using either bind runes or the Witch's Wheel, but I want to see what else is out there. And so that book looks really interesting to me. There's also the series of books that are new or relatively new from Llewellyn that's called
that looks
the
good.
Tool series.
That looks like a good series.
And so, yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by them. So far, there are 7 books in the series. And I have picked up 3 of them.
And they're kind of smallish, aren't they?
Yes, they're running about the same size as the new Llewellyn Sabbath series. So they're maybe a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch thick, and it deals with like history and traditions and stuff like that of these 7 witches' tools. So I have a list. So there's the Witch's Altar, the Witch's Cauldron, the Witch's Book of Shadows, the Witch's Mirror, the Witch's Athame, the Witch's Wand, and the Witch's Broom. And I believe the ones that I have currently are the Altar, Cauldron, and Book of Shadows. And so I suggested that for possible reading. For coven study. And folks seemed kind of interested, so we'll see. So I want to, if anybody's looking for more information on those books,
Amazon.
Amazon,
Amazon.
definitely.
Probably the Llewellyn books, right?
Yeah, go to the
Llewellyn
Llewellyn site. So yeah, so there's that. But there's another book that I've seen recently that I think is very applicable to where I'm at right now. And that is The Witch's Book of Self-Care. And that's by Erin Murphy Hiscock. And that's a recent book. I don't know how new that is exactly. But self-care is definitely something that we in general as human beings aren't really great at doing.
Yeah, we get too busy, or we're too busy taking care of other people. We don't necessarily take care of ourselves.
And so this is a book that the idea of it is very intriguing to me. So I'm hoping that the actual book is worth the hype of the excitement of the title. So I'm kind of looking forward to those. Any other books?
No, I think we've talked enough.
Well, so let's finish up by talking about goals.
Yes, so let's
are there any goals that you want to set for yourself for next year?
Well, I'd like to make through next year without anyone else dying. That'd be really nice. But since we have no control over that, I would like to continue to focus on my daily practice, to be better at journaling. I'm doing better than I used to, but I could do better. I've had some really good meditations in the last 6-8 months, so I'd like to continue exploring that, especially place meditations. Had some very interesting ones. So I'd just like to continue deepening things, and being a support system for my coven mates and the people who need it in the community, whether that's somebody online or somebody at the meetup, and just continue to be there.
Right. I've done a list of goals the last couple of years, and I haven't been 100% successful either year, but that's okay because I've had more hits than misses, and so I will take that. I guess I have to. I mean, what can I do to change it? A goal for next year is to continue the Master Spell series that I've done the last couple of years. I've set a goal for myself to read more, and so I want to continue with that for sure. And I need to look at some, deeper things too.
Right.
Yeah, because I think it's good to have some easily obtainable goals, like read a book a quarter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So something like that is fairly easy to obtain. But then it's good to do like deeper work, like, you know, improve my meditation skills and things like that. So
And your medication skills.
and my medication. Yeah, because I forget, what were we talking about?
Exactly.
So all right, is there anything else you want to say about 2018?
You know, as hard as it's been a good learning experience. And as much as we don't want to go through losing a parent or some of the sicknesses that we've been dealing with, you know, the adage, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger is absolutely true. And we could wallow in our grief and our misery, or we can use them as building blocks to make us better people.
Right.
And that's what I'm going to use 2018 for.
Yeah. There you go. I like that. That's a good end note. So we're going to end it here.
Okay. Sounds good.
I just want to thank everyone who is a subscriber, who's watched a video, who's liked a video, who's commented on a video, who's shared a video. Thank you for your support in 2018.
Yes.
And for your support throughout the history of this channel. 2019, we will continue to give y'all the best information and such that we can. And we wish everyone a happy and safe holiday season. Happy 2019. And that's going to be it.
And we'll see you next year.
See you next year. Like this video. Subscribe if you haven't.
Subscribe. We have a Facebook page.
So hit that up.
We've got
Instagrams. You've got an Instagram.
What's yours?
The link is in the description box.
Okay.
What's yours?
Is it in the description box?
No, you didn't tell me to do that, but
Okay.
I will if you want me to.
Well, I keep getting more followers, and I'm like, where do these people come from?
They probably come from me.
So
I don't know.
My Instagram is @SlaysVamps. Yes, it's SlaysVamps.
But I can definitely add it into there if you want me to. So yeah,
And
you can always email me at heartofthewitchespath@yahoo.com. Comment below if you're so moved to do so.
If you have any questions or something you want to hear about, please let us know.
Definitely.
If you live in the area and want to come to the Pagan Meetup, it's the last Wednesday of the month. You can message one of us for details.
Exactly.
But not December.
Right.
Right.
We will start back up in January.
Right.
So, alrighty guys, thanks for watching and listening.
And for walking the path with us for a little while.
All right. Until next time.
Blessed
Blessed be.